Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Sisters. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 crazy rescue dogs, and a rescue cat who likes to crouch in her spare time. If you are new here, please hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message, it boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could use that. If you are a returning friend, you already know the crazy you're in for. So grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. So it's actually Monday afternoon because I'm running late because life. Because life. Yeah, So it is April 7th, and I am wildly behind in life. And that's okay for the most part. Now, some things it's not okay, and I'm rectifying that today, hopefully. My boss, just in case anybody is wondering, yes, I am self-employed, okay? So I am my own boss. But I like to refer to myself as having a boss, because sometimes it's easier to blame the boss than to be the boss and take the blame. So today, my boss is being kind of cranky with me, and has said that I need to take care of certain things today before I call it quits for the day. Whatever. And the office manager, who really does exist, I really do have an office manager for those of you who are new here, he is backing up the boss and saying I need to get these things done. And he added something to my list. How dare he? How dare he? Does he not realize who I am? For those of you who are wondering, yes, we have a lot of fun at my office. I did interview the potential intern, and I really like her. And I think we're going to extend an offer, which is kind of crazy to think that I have grown that big. That yeah, crazy. So there we have at it. Do I have any haul? Oh, this week is focus on paperwork. We do have some court dates, and God knows that could all change tomorrow or today, and I could have more court dates. I don't know. We all know how that goes. So, yeah. But we are getting certain things done. We have been enjoying the Minecraft meals at McDonald's. Bean likes McNuggets. That's one of her foods that she goes to. So we have the birdie, and then in the car is the grimace one, and then on the bulletin board I thought this was a chicken leg. Don't laugh. Okay, I thought this was a chicken leg, and the fact that Bella thinks that's absolutely hysterical because we got it. Because I was like, I really want the chicken leg. I don't know why I needed the chicken leg. I don't need any of this shit. Let's be honest. I'm trying to clear out stuff out of my house. I don't need any of these. And I can't give them to my dog because they're that hard plastic and will hurt their teeth. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these. If the kids were little, I would have thrown them in the bathtub and they'd be bathtub toys till they get skanky and then you throw them out because whatever. But it's not. It's a potion. I thought it was a chicken leg because on the screen you can't really see the straw. That looks like a chicken leg. It's that. It's the poison or the magic potion. It's the poison. So, so, yeah. Yeah, that's how my life's going. It's not bad. It's not bad. We are still in the throes of stitching Survivor. Australian Survivor is getting down. I think we're down to like the final 4, final 5. Let me pull out my paper and consult the paper. I'm missing a player because I know that Logan, Zara is still in. So I think we are down to our final 4. I know that Zara goes down here. So I was getting pretty much caught up on my Australian Survivor, which then I was going to focus on my American Survivor. But then we've had 2 episodes, and now I'm a little bit behind again. But we're still okay. We're still okay. Thankfully, we're down to 2 episodes this week. So, maybe I'll get caught up a little bit more. I have kind of thrown off the wayside, at least temporarily, any of the bonus challenge stitching. I will circle back around at the end and stitch on those 2 projects for the duration. So, what did we get done? Well, I worked a bit on the Self-Love Sampler by Birdie's Crossing. And I got this piece is almost all the way. It's got another one of, well, I have to do like this again over here. And then that part is done. So I still owe this piece 955 stitches for American Survivor. We just started playing individually for American Survivor. Y'all, it's snowing. I just looked out my window. Big fat white flakes. I understand that I live in Michigan. Now, I live in Metro Detroit, just north of Detroit. So it's not like I live in the UP. In the UP, I would say, okay, right on. We're good. It's still April. I live in Metro Detroit. It's not just a little bit. That would also explain why my headache, my migraine, is out of, my head is out of control with the barometric pressure shifting. It does explain a lot. Okay, next up, also on American Survivor, I still owe this piece 500, well, I owe it 500 stitches because whoever it was assigned must have done something. So my individual characters, if you're new here, the individual characters are the Brooks Books characters, and I am stitching them 1/1. And it is slow going, I'm not gonna lie. But I think that 500 stitches will just about make his mane all the way through. And if not, I may just go ahead and stitch the rest of the mane, and then I'll have his face and the back stitching left to do. Oh, I love him so much. So this is the whole piece. I have not finished the back stitching on the castle or on Emerald City or the book or the shoes. Or the house. As you can tell, I'm not a big fan of back stitching. If you're new here, I'm not a big fan of back stitching. I love the look it gives, but I hate doing it. I will admit. And I'd ideally like to take out the back wheel on the bike and redo it so it's more proportional. This is a gift for one of my mentors from our deaf program. I love the piece. It's so pretty. And she has seen it, not as far as it's done, but, and she cried when she saw it. She was so excited. Which means, like, then I picked the right piece and I'm doing it right. Oh, I don't like the snow. Have I ever told you guys how much I don't like snow? For somebody who lives in the north in Michigan, you would think I don't like snow. Like, genuinely, if I lived the rest of my life without ever seeing snow again, I don't think I'd be sad. Like, I want snow on Christmas Eve, and then it can go away on Christmas Day. And that's really about it. I don't even necessarily like stitching snow. I love stitching Santa Claus, but I don't like stitching snow. So, okay, next up, Modern Folk Embroidery. Y'all, did I tell you I realized that I was 8 stitches off? I think I found out on Tuesday night. maybe it was over last week. I don't know if I told you last week. I found out that I was 8 stitches too far down, and so I had to frog a bunch. So realistically, I spent a lot of days this week frogging. I think it took 3 days to frog out all of the 310 stitches that were in the wrong place. And it was heartbreaking. And now I have, well, obviously I have to put in most of them because, you know. So I worked on this, on Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty sale. It is the 2021 sale. Yes, I started it in that January. I clearly didn't finish it that year. And that's okay, because I'm finishing it this year. Come hell or high water, I'm finishing it. So I had to rip out about 2.5% of my stitches, which was gutting, just absolute gutting. I'm almost back to that point, stitch-wise. Sorry, I have the strings. I have strings everywhere. So I ended up coming in, you can tell, and working. I put in all of the gray. Obviously, I had to rip out all of this. So I came back in here and I'm working on the gray, and then I put in this part of the border that goes down. So we still owe for stitch, thankfully, well, for Survivor, between the last 2 nights, we owe it 727 stitches. They go pretty fast on this one just because it is block stitching, so that does make it nice. So at one point, up until the last 2 episodes, I had the Modern Folk Embroidery stitches all caught up. I was like, yes, yay, something finally caught up. And I was like, yes. So I pulled up a fail mat because that was the other big main piece for stitching Survivor in Australia. And I was like, maybe I can get, because we're so close to the end on Australian Survivor, I was like, let me focus on getting at least the 2 main pieces caught up. So we still owe the fail mat 333 stitches. That's not too bad. Problem is it's so confetti heavy. So it does take me a little bit longer than something else, but that's where we're at. This is by Unconventional Cross Stitch. I'm stitching it for a friend of mine. It's totally his style. It's totally not mine. But I am having fun stitching on it and watching the different pieces kind of start to come to life and be in there. At some point, it's probably going to start giving me nightmares, and that's okay. That's okay. So we are just over 4%, finally. I know. All the stitches are still we are also, we're probably about 3/4 of the way through another page. The 333 stitches will not get me to the page finish, sadly. I wish. I really wish. But it will get me pretty darn close, and we'll take that. So that's pretty cool. That's all of my stitching. I know. Not, you know. Is it a lot? Yeah, I stitched over the weekend. I have to turn in my numbers for Beat the Mod and Whip Warrior, and I was almost at 2,000 stitches for the weekend, and that doesn't include any of the ones, you know, having to frog. So, not too bad. Ideally, I would get, again, the modern, at least the fail mat caught up. Modern Folk Embroidery will get, that's a fast stitch, so that shouldn't be. But then, like, I owe Lady Justice at this point for American Survivor. I owe it 1,900 stitches. 1,900 stitches may just finish Lady Justice. So I need to get cracking on that. And realistically, so my two bonus pieces are the Courage Sampler and He Tends His Flock. So He Tends His Flock I owe 1,300 stitches, and Courage I owe 1,600 stitches. Those should be really, at that point, Lady Justice, Courage, and He Tends His Flock will be really close to finishes, if not finished, which is kind of exciting. The 500 stitches for the Cowardly Lion will put me pretty close to having him done, if not having him done. So I count that as a finish, because otherwise, y'all, I didn't have any finishes in March. Not a single one. Oh, I do have one other one that I worked on in the car. It's my sheep. He's trucking along. He is trucking along. I think once I get my Australian Survivor, once Australian Survivor is caught up or finished, and then depending on how American Survivor is flowing, American Survivor only plays on one night, so the most I would be required to stitch on for American Survivor is if they do a reward challenge. Obviously, they'll have an immunity and an elimination, so that's 600 stitches on to be kind of divided up, and potentially, you'd have an idol thrown in here or there, but 600 stitches between 3 projects isn't too hard to do. So it allows me a little bit more flexibility in some of the other things that I do, like not just working on my sheep here or there. I'd like to, again, get those done as soon as possible, the rest of them that I have to do. Some of them I think I'm just going to convert to DMC, just because, like some of the fancy flosses to DMC, just because I don't want to buy a whole skein of fancy floss to just use a teeny tiny bit. But some of them aren't kitted. Most of them have like the whole kit. So I've got to go through, and I'll go through and see if, like, the ones that aren't kitted up, if maybe some of the extra floss from the other ones that I've finished doesn't match up, and eliminate the need to buy any more floss, because again, we're really focusing on financial goals, and we're doing really good. So that's all I got. So I'm gonna let you go. Fast, in and out, down and dirty. Okay, so remember, you are smart. You are beautiful. You are cherished. You are brave. You are loved. You are needed, and you are wanted, and mostly, you matter. So, love y'all. I will see you soon for updates on Survivor and all the funness that goes with that. So, with that, I'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.